Hi, this is Jiamin, investment analyst from PC Financial. In my previous video, I mentioned about the demand for gold as an inflation hedge. In this video, crude oil, also popularly known as black gold, is the other commodity that has seen its prices soaring in the second quarter of 2021. Quarter to date, as of 4th of June, internationally traded Brent crude oil closed above $70 per barrel, up more than 13% since 31st of March this year. So why crude oil prices have been rising? Number 1. Disciplined supply cuts. OPEC+, the group of oil producers, have been disciplined in gradually easing supply cuts as they sought to balance against recovering crude oil demand. Number 2. Stronger demand outlook. OPEC+ also painted a rosy outlook for crude oil demand for the second half of this year. Number 3. Lack of progress in negotiations between the US and Iran. The US and Iran are holding nuclear talks, and depending on how negotiations will progress, there is a possible return of Iranian crude to the export market. However, the current slow progression meant that the materialization of this scenario could delay further. So, where will crude oil prices be heading in the near term? We think markets will continue to monitor the US-Iran nuclear talks closely for any signs of the return of Iranian crude to oil markets, which is a downside risk to current oil price levels. Also, the speed at which the world vaccinates its population as part of government's attempt to normalize economic activities is another factor that will drive the demand for crude oil in the near term. We think crude oil should trade comfortably above $65 per barrel in the near term, given the positive global economic outlook that leads to a more sustained recovery in crude oil demand. With that, I end my presentation for today.